Hello, investors. Today on Stocks to Watch, we're featuring PesoRama Inc., listed on the TSXV as Peso, and the company's founder and CEO, Rahim Bhaloo. PesoRama Inc. is Mexico's only true dollar store chain, expanding rapidly across one of the most dynamic consumer markets in Latin America. Since opening its first store in 2019, PesoRama has built a strong retail footprint and a scalable business model, obviously, tailored to the unique spending power of the Mexican consumer. So without further ado, Rahim, I'd like to welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Ashley. Much appreciated.
Yes, very excited to hear your story. So, this is very impressive. You've reached 30 stores as of late September, more under construction. Let's
Yes.
start with your original location. Why Mexico City? And what opportunity did you see there early in 2019? Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Look, traveling to Mexico over the last two and a half, 3 decades, and the idea was very accidental, and that's a long story. But just to look at Mexico as a market, we have approximately 135 million to 140 million people in the market. Walmart, which is the country's number one employer, has approximately 3,500 locations compared to about 350 in Canada. So when we looked at the retail landscape, there's really no true dollar stores. And then when we, further dug into the market, we realized that there is a growing middle class. And we did our homework, and what exactly we thought was going to happen happened. We opened our first store, and amazingly, it was a hit. And that's how the thesis was born. And then we continue to grow.
Fantastic. And I have to imagine that there's such a need, but then as you said, there's middle class that shop there. I think about in the US, dollar stores and how popular they are. So you have this growing store network and a central distribution hub within your company. How do you determine where to open new locations in Latin America?
Yeah, we look for high traffic locations that have proximity to both, residential and commercial areas. Right now, our thought process is 50% in shopping centers, which shopping centers are almost treated like an outing for a lot of Mexican, families. In shopping centers, you'll have roller coasters and putting greens and skating rinks and a ton of restaurants anchored by grocery retail. So that shopping center experience is really an outing for the family. And then the other 50% of our stores are going to be standalone stores in high traffic, high dense neighborhoods where, you can reach 150 people walking every 15 minutes, if not 200 people, just because, Mexico City is 25, 26 million people. You look at Canada as a whole, we have about 35 to 40 million people. So you can see how dense the city really is.
Absolutely. And it sounds like I like that you mentioned the whole family component and that it is an outing and that, something like that for them to be so close when they're out, when the kids are riding the roller coaster, whatever, they can go there and get candy afterwards. I mean, it's really a brilliant business model. You've also invested in software for inventory, sales tracking to support the stores and the distribution hub. So, how would you say those components work together as an integrated system to really improve the efficacy and the efficiency of your business model?
Yeah, look, I mean, the dollar store business is all about volume. So you need to have almost real-time inventory available to you at all times. We have an entire replenishment logistics team dedicated just on monitoring what inventory levels are on a daily basis. So we have a central distribution center right in Mexico City that ships anywhere between 1 to 3 times a week, depending on the volume of the store and season. Obviously, back to school, Halloween, Christmas being busier seasons, we're able to ship more frequently. So when that customer comes in, they're not able to find just their day-to-day needs. But, dollar stores are like a treasure hunt. You walk into a dollar store, you may be looking for one or two items, and they end up leaving with five or six. And that's the beauty of the business. It caters to all markets, all income classes, and it's all about the variety you see, in the stores. And in our particular stores, we manage about 6 to 7,000 SKUs spread across 26 different departments.
I love the treasure hunt because every time I go to a dollar store, I feel the same way. I go in, I'm like, I just have to get a couple things, and then three baskets full or
There you
one
go.
entire cart, right? So,
You're our ideal customer.
right. Let's talk about your leadership team. It really brings a deep retail experience from Canada. How transferable has that expertise been in navigating the Mexican retail landscape?
Look, I think what we've done is we've brought a North American feel to the stores, clean, bright. A lot of people look at dollar stores and think, "Oh my God, what do these stores look like?" It's really like shopping in a higher end retail spot. And our stores are well lit, wide aisles, bright, organized. Spread across your various departments. And in terms of team, our merchandising team opened the first Walmart in Mexico 31 years ago. Our operations team comes from a chain of stores out in Colombia. They had about 3,000 locations. So, this business is definitely about the team. And I believe the management team that we have in place today, the people that run our distribution center in-house, Coca-Cola X. So we actually think that this business is now at a position with the right group of people and management team now to just open and execute locations.
Yeah, and speaking of it being bright and inviting, I was just on your website, PesoRama.ca, and yeah, you can see that, and it's huge. The stores are big, incredible amount of inventory from what I can tell. So let's talk about what's next for the company and maybe some upcoming catalysts investors should be watching for.
Look, I think, we're a young company, 30 locations. We believe in the next 5 to 6 years, we can take that number to 400 or 500 stores. And, if you look at the market in general and you look at dollar stores across the world, you have Dollarama in Canada operating 1,800 locations with a population of 35 to 40 million people. So that can just tell you how big the market in Mexico will be with 135 million people. So for us, the infrastructure's in place, our distribution centers are in place, our supply chain, logistics, management team. Now it's about making sure that we deploy capital that we raise in strictly opening new locations. And that's going to be the focus over the next 4 to 5 years to come.
So really, it's the scalability component. So
Scalability, 100%. We've
sure.
proven the business model. All of our stores make money. It's now about scaling the business across the country.
Absolutely. So for those listening, watching, what would you say makes PesoRama a compelling investment opportunity right now?
Well, I would take a look at Dollarama's market cap of 50 billion Canadian dollars at 1,800 stores, and you can do the math in terms of where Dollarama was and where it is today. I believe PesoRama can be a compelling investment as long as we execute, and we're on the track of doing that.
All right, listed on the TSXV as PESO or Peso, Rahim Bhaloo, founder, CEO of PesoRama Inc. This is a retail growth story redefining value shopping in Mexico. So, as I mentioned, to learn more, you can visit PesoRama.ca and follow the company's progress as it certainly continues to expand its national footprint and operational strength. Rahim, thank you so much for joining us here on Stocks to Watch.
Thank you, Ashley. Much appreciated.